Could an ant really lift an elephant?
Imagine an ant. Now think of an elephant. Pretty different, right? But there's something super special about ants that might blow your mind. We always hear that ants are super strong, but just how strong are they? Here's the scoop. An ant can lift and carry something 50 times its own weight. Sounds crazy, but it's true. If ants were the size of humans, they would be like the superheroes of the animal world. Now, let's have some fun with this fact. If an ant was as big as a person, it could pick up a car with its little ant legs. Easy peasy. Think about that next time you see an ant at a picnic. That tiny insect is a weightlifting champion. But remember, even though they're strong, don't worry, they can't actually lift an elephant. That's just to show how mighty these minuscule creatures are. So next time you spot an ant, give a little nod to the tiny titans of strength that scurry around our world.
Could a turtle outlive an airplane?
It might be tough to believe, but some turtles can live longer than the lifespan of commercial airplanes. The secret to their lengthy lives isn't about moving fast or having a fancy diet, but rather their incredibly slow metabolism. The Aldabra giant tortoise is one such turtle that has shocked the world. One Aldabra tortoise, named Edweda, is believed to have lived to the ripe old age of 255. That's right, he was born before the United States declared independence and lived all the way until 2006. Now, let's think about airplanes. The average commercial airplane is typically used for about 25 to 30 years before it's retired. This means Edweda lived through the life cycles of about 8 generations of airplanes. So next time you look at a tortoise, you might be staring at a creature that has witnessed centuries of history. It sure gives a whole new meaning to take things slow and live longer, doesn't it?
Can castles disappear? Find the Phantom Fortress!
Picture a majestic castle, strong, tall, and old. They're meant to last forever, right? But would you believe that there's a vanishing castle in Wales? Yes, you heard right. A castle that can disappear. No, it's not magic. It's the mysterious low-hanging fog of the Lake District that plays hide-and-seek with the ancient walls of the Castelli Bere. As the fog descends, the castle seems to vanish right before your eyes, only to reappear clear as day when the sun cuts through the mist. The idea of a castle appearing and disappearing into the mist sounds like something out of a fairy tale, but it's a real spectacle that happens at this medieval fortress. This eerie phenomenon not only attracts tourists from around the world, but also gives us a glimpse into the past, when these walls might have been shrouded in mystery on purpose to guard against potential invaders. Nature's cloak, it seems, may be the oldest trick in the book.
Ice cream that doesn't melt? Unfreeze the truth.
Check this out. Ice cream that doesn't melt sounds like something from a sci-fi movie, right? But in Japan, thanks to a happy accident, scientists created a type of ice cream that stays solid longer, even in the blazing heat. It all started with an attempt to help strawberry farmers affected by the 2011 earthquake and tsunami. They asked a chef to make new desserts out of their berries, and he experimented with polyphenol liquid from strawberries to help them stay fresh. Surprisingly, when this liquid was added to ice cream, it made the treat incredibly resistant to melting. This discovery led to the development of non-melting ice creams you can actually buy in Japan. People tested it by leaving scoops of this futuristic ice cream in warm rooms, and even after hours, it barely melted. So, is this the ice cream of the future? Hot summer days might not be the same again.
Can trees talk to each other? Whispering Woods revealed.
Have you ever walked through a forest and felt like the trees were alive? Well, it turns out they might actually be communicating with each other. Scientists have discovered an incredible underground network, nicknamed the Wood Wide Web, where trees send chemical and electrical signals to share resources and even warn each other about dangers like pests. This hidden communication happens through a mesh of tiny fungi threads attached to tree roots. It's like the trees are holding hands underground. The biggest, oldest trees, known as mother trees, act like hubs in this network, supporting younger and weaker trees by sharing nutrients. This system works so well that if one tree needs extra water or is sick, its neighbors will send help through the network. It's a real-life example of nature's teamwork, and it shows us trees are much more complex than we ever imagined. Next time you see a tree, just think about the silent conversations happening right beneath your feet.
Could pizza last longer than empires? The ancient food that defies time.
What if I told you pizza could be older than some of the ancient civilizations? It's hard to imagine, but the origins of pizza stretch way back to the ancient times. In the 6th century BC, soldiers of the Persian king Darius I would bake flatbreads with cheese and dates on top of their battle shields. Now that's a combat combo meal. Centuries later, the modern pizza as we know it started to take shape in Naples, Italy. Poor villagers added tomato to their yeast-based flatbread, and voila, the classic dish was born. It's been evolving ever since, becoming one of the most beloved foods worldwide. Each slice carries with it a piece of history, a taste of ancient traditions and cultures that have contributed to the delicious, melty, cheesy goodness we can't seem to get enough of. So next time you grab a slice, remember it's not just a piece of pizza. It could be a slice of history.
Which was faster, an ancient bird or a space rocket?
Believe it or not, there was once a bird that could fly as fast as a rocket. Meet the Argentavis, the largest flying bird ever discovered. This giant bird lived 6 million years ago and had a wingspan of up to 24 feet. That's as big as a small plane. The Argentavis could soar through the skies at speeds over 150 miles per hour. Now let's compare it to a rocket. Modern rockets like SpaceX's Falcon 9 can blast off at a speed of about 18,000 miles per hour when they go to space. However, when a rocket starts its journey, it's not instant. It slowly gathers speed as it climbs. During the very first seconds of launch, it's actually just as speedy as a bird taking off. So in a funny twist of comparison, for a brief moment as both leave the ground, the Argentavis and a rocket's speed could seem similar. How's that for an unexpected race through time?
Alien invaders smaller than a penny. Uncover the mighty strength of ants.
Imagine lifting a car over your head. Impossible, right? Not for ants. Ants might be tiny, but they are incredibly strong. An ant can carry 10 to 50 times its own body weight. That's like a human carrying 2 full-sized cars. Scientists believe ants are so strong because they are so small, which means their muscles are thicker compared to their body size than in larger animals. Another cool thing is that ants use teamwork. They work together to move big things, like leaves, food, or even insects, to bring back to their colony. With over 12,000 species of ants all over the world, they are some of the most successful creatures on Earth. They can build giant ant cities underground, farm other insects, and some can even fly. Ants are also super smart. They use paths called pheromone trails, which is like leaving a scented map for other ants to find food. So next time you see an ant, just think about the secret superpowers these tiny alien-like creatures have.
Did democracy originate in a forest? The surprising roots of voting.
When we think of democracy, we often picture ancient Greece and grand marble buildings. But what if I told you that the first spark of democratic practice might have started in a forest? Before written history, some of the earliest decisions by groups were made under the canopy of gigantic trees. Tribes would gather in the natural amphitheaters formed by their branches to discuss matters and make decisions. This practice is believed to be based on inclusivity and collective discussion, which are the core principles of democracy. Every member of the tribe, much like the modern citizen, had a voice, and a decision was made when a consensus was reached. While the Greeks are credited with formalizing democracy, it's fascinating to think that the roots of voting were literally surrounded by roots, with our ancestors making choices beneath the ancient boughs. So next time you cast a vote, imagine the whispering leaves and the wisdom of ages that have contributed to this act of collective choice.
Can a jellyfish's sting predict the weather?
Imagine you could predict the weather without a forecast. Well, jellyfish stings might hold a surprising secret. Even though it sounds like a superhero power, there's some truth to it. When bad weather is brewing like a storm, the sea gets rougher and waves throw jellyfish closer to the shore. That's when people swimming might get stung more often. But it's not just the waves that are busy. The atmospheric pressure changes too. This pressure affects all creatures, including jellyfish. Some scientists think that when pressure drops, jellyfish's tentacles become more sensitive and active. So when they brush up against something, bam, they sting quicker. It's not a perfect weather prediction method, since jellyfish sting for other reasons too. But it's a cool way to think about how nature is interconnected. So next time a jellyfish stings, it might not just be bad luck. It could be a storm warning. Follow me for more fun facts.